Okay, sorry for the delay there. I was trying to set myself up for success. Given that last time I talked to one of my buddies, they mentioned that I need to make sure that I go back on Twitch and have it prioritize not pre-roll ads so that that shit doesn't come at you guys. That way, we actually managed to not have people be completely curb stomped by that cockamamie BS. I'm actively always annoyed when I forget little stuff like that. It's never fun. It's always a big oopsies. Let me go over to my channel really quick, make sure it's working as intended. Yes, it is. What's up, Paper? Welcome. Just adding in a couple more details, making sure that everything is where it needs to be. Can you guys let me know if the music and my mic volume is good? I upped my mic volume settings, so hopefully that fixes any major problems. Ugh. I am a wee bit tired. Alright, there we go. And then... pre-roll odds are enabled or disabled. Okay, so that should be good to go. So the pre-roll ads... Okay, so the pre-roll ads should be fully disabled now. And whenever you guys see, or whenever, like, ads start to go, that should all be set and ready to warn us. Sounds good? Alright, then we are set, I think, to go. Welcome, everybody. My name is Basil, not the Herb, or, officially, it is Basil Strikes. Mr. Strikes is my father. I am a tabletop RPG prioritized VTuber, and I have been doing a handful of different tabletop RPG related content lately, and it has been a absolute blast. I have absolutely no major complaints. The reception to me slowly making my way back onto Twitch has been grand. Everyone that joins me in the games I run and play is having a good time, and the interactions have been pretty solid. Nothing to, like, you know, write home about to such a degree of, like, major success, but, you know, it's good. I'm trying to remember all my key bindings here. Today, I wanted to try and entertain you all by my lonesome... by my own lonesome self. And, we're gonna go ahead and mess with my lore. Because if, most of you don't know my lore, originally, my origins were to be a world-hopping adventurer, and to, see what kind of shenanigans I can get into related to the people I interacted with on stream and the games I played. I had a bit of a Mary Sue complex. I don't think the Gary Stewism is completely gone, mind you, but it's more, it's more justified now, I think. At least, I think. Oh, well, thank you, but I'm already married to a moth. Married to a moth fae. Anywho, I really wanted to keep the adventurer style. I wanted to keep the explorer and world-hopping adventuring scene. And since I have been working on my own setting for TTRPGs for a hot minute, I kind of really wanted to play with the idea of us going on an adventure together and playing the Cypher system, but without a GM. Or I guess another way of looking at it is more so you guys are kind of the GM. You guys are kind of the game master for a while. Primarily because we're going to be using a couple of Oracle books, which within the TTRPG space is essentially books that have different tables and rules to roll so that you're able to run a game without necessarily needing someone to have a full fleshed out story written for you. I've had a lot of success running them by myself and having fun, but obviously tabletops are primarily the most fun when you have other people with you. So I kind of thought, why not we do a little bit of rebranding, a little bit of history fixing, and go through and play a game of the Cypher system together, and introduce some of my new lore, go in and start figuring out some of my adventures and start making things canon. To start off with, the setting, one, almost all of the artwork you're going to see here is from Chepeku. They are a fantastic site for maps and scenes. I either subscribed to their Patreon for a while and got quite a few maps to myself, or I regularly buy the maps outright on their website. Thus far, unless I'm mistaken, their animated stuff like this is only found on Patreon. At the moment, I'm not really able to afford the Patreon, but that's okay. I happily support in individual purchases to get their stuff, and I really think you should too. Also, hello, Bunny. Welcome to the stream. I'm not gonna say the other part because it's rude. Also, I don't know you like that. Maybe later. As for the music, it is by Tabletop RPG Music. They are a smorgasbord of copyright-free music. I am subscribed to their Patreon. It is a little bit more consistently affordable for me, and I actively use their music. So whatever music you hear is by these wonderful folks. Other than that, we're going to primarily use artwork for monsters and such off of the Cypher system produced by folks like Old Gus and other people in the Cypher Discord whose names I forget. I'm sorry, I love you. But the Cypher system is one of those tabletop RPGs where in the VTT space, it is entirely very much run by the fans, but it's very worth it. So if you happen to ever go to the Cypher Unlimited Discord, give Old Gus and anyone else who helps you learn to enjoy this system a big thumbs up, and tell them Basil sent ya. But with all of that, what are we gonna do today? What's the big thing? Well, let me introduce you to the setting. It is called Virus. The city named after the god Viren is a place of magic, technology, and oh so multiple world-ending events. The pros of Virus is that it has no real overarching social structure of bigotry or any kind of, like, there are stereotypes, there are jokes, people can crack wise at you, but a majority of the people that live in this city are not ancestors, but like are I can't think of the word that's not the other way, the forward cester. I don't know what the word is. Children. I'll just say children. They are the children of ancestors who came to the island out of desperation because their worlds, as far as they understood, were being overtaken and destroyed. When they've made their way to the island of Viren, again, named after the god. Descendants! Thank you, chat! I could absolutely not think of the fucking word descendants there for a second. When the ancestors of the current folks got to the island, there was a lot of strife, there was a lot of interfighting, but eventually what brought everyone together was that the island was in the center, or rather in a center point of creation on the Mother Ocean, where angels, devils, fae, and all kinds of greater magical beings alike came in wanting to take the land for themselves. The now homeless adventurers themselves fought along with the god Viren and kept the island, now a moving, breathing city in almost a literal sense, from going under the clutches of the divine, the hellish, or the wacky. To this day, the city continues to thrive. While it does have a base of capital and money to keep itself running with a logic and trade system that it can work with multiple other realms, more so social status and your own willingness to put yourself in harm's way for the greater good is what generally pops up more. This doesn't make the city or the island perfect. If you are someone who cannot find something to offer society, that is where you start to get looked down upon. You're not judged by how you look or what you say, or rather how you say it, but it's more about what you do and what you say. This is counter-offered by the fact that generally every adult at some point, regardless of your species or your heritage, you have to join the Varisian Guard, or you have to go out and be a mercenary, though more colloquially dubbed as adventurer. This way, you have more freedom to either serve the city under a more watchful eye. The Varisian Guard are very anti-corruption. Like, there are so many rules and things to keep that shit on lock, including the fact that the Council of Virus is a bunch of old people with the power to smack God. Which, you know, you kind of need that when, again, angels and devils are constantly trying to steal your city from you. This is a fantasy world where, yes, people are more benevolent, they are more loyal, they are more willing to sacrifice themselves, but the reason why is because they've seen it work. The politicians, the leaders of this realm, actively fight gods to keep people safe. And it works. It has been working for hundreds of years, and now these lands also continue to interact and reach out to other realms, other worlds that have fallen to the wayside due to just a kind of a little spooky here, unknown reason why certain realms have been destroyed and are now floating in pieces upon the ethereal sea, going through Mother Ocean's arms. Which is a theory that most Varisians don't fully understand why, and we also don't like to question the complications of that, because that's exceedingly existential. With all of that said, and with you having I assure you, a brief summary of how this setting is, we are going to go ahead and have me. Who am I? Well, I'm Basil Not the Herb, aka Basil Strikes. I am a chaotic beast shifter explorer, and I need no weapons. I got the certified hands. Generally, everything else on here is pretty self-explanatory, but some of you might be thinking, what is a beast shifter? A beast shifter is very similar to what you would know as a werewolf or a werefolk. It is, in all essence, it's exactly what it is. However, the difference between a beast shifter and your standard lycanthrope or werebear or wereboar is sort of like, not all were creatures are beast, not all were creatures are beast shifters, but all beast shifters are werefolk. I can, in fact, turn into multiple different stages of basically a were-dog. Also, I do got the beat. Ladies, I got the beat. No, you know what? Gentlemen, I also got the beef for you. I need to stop. I absolutely need to stop. Yeah, so here's the funny thing, Paper, and for the rest of chat. I have been told several times that I am very dog-coded in so many ways, and while I still would not classify myself as a furry the same way I would not classify myself as a brony back in the day, like, I have some aspects of those things that I think are interesting and that I even would say I am a fan of, but kind of like when you're outside of the fandom and you just kind of like something, it's weird to get labeled stuff. So, listen, furry jokes, completely allowed, but I will almost always try to at least once per stream imply that I'm not one of the furries, not out of shame, but out of respect. It's called window shopping. With that said, today's not going to be an exploration on how I got my beast shifter powers. Something that I am still working on how that happens, because unlike normal lycanthropes and such, this is not a curse. This is a gift, something that you are born with, or achieve, or are given. Which one of those was it for me? I don't know yet, but today's not going to be the day that we find out, because today is instead my first ever mission. Because per the laws of Virus, I, Basil Strikes, kind of go out of my way to set myself up for victory, and I'm gonna go be an adventurer. By this point in my timeline, I've gotten a little bit of a taste of how my werepowers exist, which I will show in-game. I will show in media res, rather than just continue to lore dump for you. But ever since I managed to get a solid hold on my powers and my own more obtained, I don't want to say natural skill, but like skills I do attain more through hard work and effort, given that several members of my family would have been Varisian militia at some point, and several others are still Varisian militia, so this would be my first proper journey. So my question is, what kind of adventure are we going on first? I've got a couple of tables on the Mythic GM emulator that I can roll to help us decide, but I think it would be fun if I offer the first yes or no question to you, my chat. So, primarily Paper, obviously, right now. Those of you watching, what is a yes or no, like, what is a question formed yes or no that you would like to ask that might imply what Basil Strike's first adventure is? Because I've got a couple of them, but again, we're going on this journey together. You're helping write my new lore. You're making this shit canon. Also, my doggo's here. My sweet baby puppies. Are you tired, big man? Yeah, he eat me. Are you tired, little baby? I stopped petting him and then he was like, but why? But why stop giving tension? Okay, no questions from the chat, so 1 second. I don't think I would have been upfront to... Oh, did it involve a Crema Dragon thing? What is a Crema Dragon? Do you mean Chrome? A Chroma Dragon? Chroma Dragon these nuts across your face? Got him? I'm 32 and I am a child. I regret nothing. I will absolutely take the cheapest of shots if I am allowed. A Chimera Dragon. Oh, okay. So my question is, like, what would a chimera dragon be? Is that, like, a dragon that is also other things? Or is it, like, a multifaceted dragon, like, with, like, Frankenstein parts? That's interesting. I just want to know, like, what you mean. Because I kind of like that idea. Although, I will say, if it does have something to do with a dragon, I would outright say that it probably wouldn't be a violent altercation. While I would be comfortable with my powers by this point in my narrative, I don't think I would be so forthcoming with wanting to jump to violence. While I am able and very willing to throw hands, I don't necessarily think I need to unleash the lethal weapons. I think I need to, well, not even need, but want to constantly try to solve problems with words versus anything else. Thinking it hired you or something. Okay, I'm not following the logic entirely, so I will go ahead and take a bit of that. Maybe there is some kind of draconic beast roaming around in a nearby part of the city, and people are getting concerned about, like, all the different sightings. So, rather than sending me to another realm, untested, unwarranted, the guard have me and a couple of other people start to investigate what this thing might be. So I like that idea. We also now know that I am in fact not attempting to fully go violent with it. So we're more so just trying to find and track this thing down. So that is a good thing off the jump, because I have Animal Minor ability. Because I took Wolf, or rather Canine, for my Animal Minor, I have Scent. Strong sense of smell, gaining an asset on tracking and dealing with darkness or blindness. So, we're going to see if we can find any kind of thing like that. Now, in Cypher, most things are dictated by how difficult the level is, how hard it is that we're trying to make this thing work. What I'm thinking is that this is not particularly impossible, but we are dealing with something rather tough. This is not something that can be done willy-nilly or too easily. So as I pull up my books here, don't mind me, I am just trying to see what the heck the table would be for the situation. Bum, bum, bum. Here we go. Oh, that is for crafting. We don't need a reference for crafting. Here we go. I would say this would be an intimidating situation, so level 6. Because we don't know what this thing smells like, we don't know what it looks like, this is a whole new situation. I wouldn't say it's formidable, if only because while it is very different, and while it is very new to us in several ways, I would also argue that because it's so off, that we would be able to recognize, hey, something smells off, something smells different. Don't do the yo, I'm a dog. It's fine. So, I get... Let me double check that. Oh, I didn't actually add that skill. Let me go ahead and do that really quick. So, perception, scent, /tracking, /darkness. There we go. So, it's going to be level 6. This will make it go down to level 5. Let's burn a level of effort. No, I don't want to burn a level of effort that soon. That would... that would immensely make this more difficult. All right, let's go ahead and just try and make this work with what we've got. And then maybe we'll get lucky. Okay, no. So, the first day that we're told about this, I run around different parts of Virus, from the docks to the entertainment district to the market district, even to the upper areas where more of the wealthy and affluent on status lie, and I'm just not quite able to figure anything out. No major luck trying to find this thing, so scent alone is not going to work. Possibly this thing does not actually come out during the day, or if it does, it skulks around to where it's not as easily noticed. So after no luck there, let's roll on the chaos factor, and let's see if something happens. Ooh, something is definitely going to happen because it is 5 below. This will be a interrupt scene in our random event. 65. Move away from a thread. Okay, something happens. Something just happened. Something happens to move us away from our investigation. I'm gonna ask the yes or no question. Is somebody in danger or suddenly needs help? That. I'm going to say this is very likely because I feel like that's one of the more likely things. No, it's not that someone is in danger. It's that... Okay. So if someone particularly doesn't need help, would that instead mean that I'm being called out? Maybe, maybe I am the one who is in danger. I think that's a little bit more likely given the situation. Oh, not only am I the one in danger, it is a bit of a deadly encounter. I'm I'm in danger. Okay, so next question. Is this a group or a singular entity? I think that's a 50-50 shot. So I would say, is this a group? Yes! Oh, holy hell, I'm just straight up getting jumped. I am just absolutely getting jumped during my investigation of the Frankenstein dragon, of this chimera drake. Okay. Obviously we don't have enough time to ask why, because we're getting jumped. But are they more powerful than me? I think that'll also be a 50-50 shot. Yes, but only slightly. So I'm being accosted by several people who are probably, as a group, more powerful than I am normally. Is the group working for the dragon, though? See, that's a good question. We can hold on to that for later. Right now, I'm being jumped. Is the group humanoid? I think that's another 50-50. Yes, okay. So, probably cultists? I mean, it's a drake or a dragon, so that makes sense that it would be like dragon cultists coming at me. That would make sense, given my preference for such situations. So, in a sense, they would be working for them. Alright, so if that's the case, we kind of have an idea of what we're dealing with. Let's see here. So we've got a thug that could be what we will be fighting us. I think my... Oh, here we go, a cultist. Oh, level 5? That would actually be perfect. Let's see here. Let's roll a flat d10 and see how many there are. 3 of them? Or did it just type 3? I don't think it... Hold on. There we go. Well, we know that's not true because there's supposed to be several of them. So let's roll that d10 again. Oh! Oh, no. Oh, no. Now I'm actually a little terrified. There's 9 of them. Oh, no. This is bad. 9 occultists. Okay, so we'll actually slightly alter this, right? So one of the rules of Cypher is that you can actually have multiples of a character and have them build up to a higher tier. So 9 level 5 occultists I don't think work. But 5 occultists that when they strike as 1 act as a level 9, I think that's a lot more fair and a lot more interesting. So I am absolutely getting just jumped here. And I think, yeah, they're gonna try to like make a little star around me, so like I don't have too much room to get away. Also, as a reminder, artwork that is shown here is going to be based off of the actual books from the Cypher system. It is from Monty Cook Games. It is the artwork of said. I don't know that they are all hot redheads. They could be. They could be. I'm not personally against this. Hot redheads occultists would be very fun. But the image is more of a placeholder. You know what? Are they actually, like, can we see them enough to whether or not they are attractive? 50-50 shot. Yes, we can. Are they hot? I think it's very likely that they are. Oh. They're gorgeous. And listen, I know the artwork represents just like a bunch of like feisty female redheads. You know we got some fiery freckled boys up in here. And this is how Basil lost the game, being absolutely curb stomped by a bunch of foxy redheads. Oh, I love this. I already love where this is going. Oh, ridiculous. Okay, but they are cultists and they are trying to kill me. So, the hot cultists are trying to absolutely... Oh, are they using a glamour spell, though? Oh! You know what? Let's find that out after the fight. That could be very fun. The question is, am I willing to fight these guys? I'm going to try... to their bidding for 10 minutes. Some also have a spell, item, or device that inflicts 5 points of damage. I don't think these people are going to use the demon. I think they slightly underestimate how powerful I am, or how powerful I potentially am. So, I'm gonna see if I'm able to sniff out that they're about to jump me. I will spend an experience point on that. Because I really don't want to have to immediately be on the defensive. Ah, damn it. Damn it, damn it. Okay. So I'm going to be absolutely on the defensive here. So, let me go ahead and swap out music, boys and girls, because it's fighting time. And then, I don't think I have any bonuses on initiative. Nope. So I will go ahead and just hit that. Oh, okay, hold on. We can work with this. We can absolutely work with this. We've got about 5 minutes before you guys get hit with some ads, so let's see how the opening round's gonna go. All right. I'm able to make the first move. And I think the very first thing I'm going to do... It might absolutely... Let me know if the music is too loud, by the way. It might absolutely be worth... Oh, I need to organize this a little bit better. I just noticed that is... Oh, that's weird. It looks fine there. Okay, now it's working. Now it looks okay. Even the rage area looks a little bit weirdly formatted. Let's see if that helps. Apologies that I have to do formatting like mid-session here. But that's just going to be a pain in the ass to deal with if I don't. Okay. Yeah, I did make this an action. Because I am being accosted by so many people, I think it makes sense that I would tap into my standard form's ability where I get my power shifts. So, I'll take one action to temporarily access some of my Beast Shifter form. So I'm not going into the hybrid form, but I am sort of like taking a second. I take in a deep breath. Almost smoke like steam will exhale from my mouth as I just start to focus in on what's happening in front of me. And at that point, the occultists are all going to take attacks on me. Level 9. I have my power shifts. Okay. I do have speed defense, so that'll already be a level 8. So, 1 level of effort, 2 points. Lowers this down to a 7. Ah, that's still gonna be tough. But I think I kind of just have to risk it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to just allow this to happen. So, opening roll before the ads hit. Ah, unfortunate for me. I will take 9 points of might damage. As I get swarmed by these fuckers with all of their knives. Automatically not looking good for me. Yikes. We'll go ahead and take a quick break. And we will see where things end up when we come back from the ads. I'll go get some water, hit the restroom, and I'll be back and see you guys soon. absolute dumbass was totally muted. Yay, technology! Alright, let me catch you guys up to what just happened. So, I went to attack one of the cultists, since they are level 5. They're easier to attack individually than they are to attack as a group. Got a semi-crit, so got 3 points of additional damage, and took a solid swing at him. But now they are retaliating once again, and I am getting accosted. I'm gonna attempt, because maybe I can get a natural 20, but I am beyond doubtful. Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be a miss. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so I'm getting my absolute shit rocked. That's fine, that's fine. My turn again, round 3. First off, now that 3 rounds have gone on, let's go ahead and see if a GM intrusion is going to trigger. Yes, we are going to have something happen in the middle of this fight. Let me pull up that. And we are going to roll on a D20 and a D8 to see what page out of these cards. 11. And then we'll roll another D8 to dictate which card we're getting. 3. The foe and character switch weapons, perhaps due to one disarming the other and then being disarmed in turn, and continue to fight. Okay, I actually kind of like that. So I'll get 1 point of experience for that. And while the cultists rush in to give more stabs on me, I managed to actually take one of the daggers from one of the ones I haven't hurt yet. We'll say this one, and I'll mark them since they don't have their weapon anymore, and just snap the dagger in 2. My proper turn, I'm going to use my healing recovery roll. So I get one of these for free. So it's a 1d6 plus 1. I'll take it. 1, 2, 3. Makes me no longer impaired. And I also have a fun little ability. Yep, you immediately gain another action. So Surging Confidence comes in. I'm able to block off the spending from the might. And I'm going to go ahead and try and swing at this one again. Alright. And with a punch, I'll actually go ahead and make sure that this is going to work. So take 2 off that. And we're going to make sure that this punch connects with what I need. 14 most definitely will hit. That'll be another 4 points of damage. As they're going to come at me once more. I will try once again to speed defense. I didn't move it back to... Yeah, I didn't move it back to that, so it's still going to be 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jesus! Okay, so this has proven to be more powerful than what I can deal with. So, we're going to spend 1 action on round 4 to properly heal ourselves. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to use a player intrusion, because I haven't gotten to use one yet. And we're going to abscond. I'm going to literally give myself a second action to run the fuck away. Because I am getting absolutely bullied. As that happens, I think they're also going to give chase. Let's see here. Because they're no longer surrounding me, it's mostly just going to be an issue of one of them catching them up and trying to hit me. No, actually, I don't want my story to end this soon, thank you very much. I'd like to live a little bit longer. I'll say it makes sense that this would be a level 5 task, with them trying to catch me, because they aren't all surrounding me. They're not all able to get to me. I actually even think it makes more sense that only 2 of them can come at me. So, with that... excuse me. For speed roll, I'm going to use my last experience point to reroll that. I hit the button too many times. Alright, so... shit. Okay, so they are going to actually catch up to me. Damn! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I am not in a good space. I absolutely am fucked. I go out on my first mission and I absolutely get wrecked. Holy crap. Oh, man. Okay, well, there's not much I can do at this point. I've been thoroughly beaten, and kind of actually very appropriate. No, it doesn't, because here's the thing. For them to send this kind of a force at me, so fully, like, ready, I have a question as well. Paper, feel free to ask your question first, because I feel like we're going in the same direction for this. Does the Chimera Dragon save you as they are also victims of the cultists? The problem with that is that's a really loaded question, and we aren't in the story far enough to where that is relevant. I would argue that it's very unlikely that we would be saved by the dragon in this situation. I'm going to turn the music down ever so slightly, because I think it's a bit loud. So, to play fair, we'll go ahead and roll it, but I think it's very unlikely that this is the case. And the game says that it is possible. So here's where I'm coming in. I don't think I'm rescued by the dragon because they're a victim of the cult. I think the dragon just doesn't want me dead. So this is where I'm going to say it's actually very likely. I think they're bringing me to the dragon. Yep, that is most definitely the case. So I will count that as a GM intrusion, since I am not being killed, but I am, in fact... I'm actually giving myself 2. Since I'm playing solo, I think it's completely valid that I get 2 experience points in this scenario. So, with that, I actually have a very perfect... Here we go. So I am hurting real good. I think by this point I've gotten enough to have at least 1 health in both, just because I don't think they want me to actually be dead. So I'm brought to some kind of... Am I brought somewhere where it is underground or away from easily seen eyes? Yes, so I am definitely brought into like a basement, or maybe even an underground cavern, given how the city morphs. Virus, the city, regularly adds to itself magically using the gifts and the powers of Mother Ocean. So it makes sense that there would just be a building, a pocket that had not been properly renovated or given space to, And that's where they're using this. Plus, a very sizable area where the Chimera Dragon could be. So now, my next question... You know what? Actually, we should actually test the scene. Okay, so that something is going to happen. It is another interrupt scene. So we'll do this. Move away from a thread. Okay, you know what? GM intrusion. I think because of my more powerful sort of attempt of recovery, I'm able to bounce back a little bit faster than they want. No one has come to talk to me yet, but I'm still essentially locked up. They are clearly waiting for their superior to come to see me. Could it be that Chimera Dragon? Possibly. But personally, I don't want to find out. So we're going to try to break out. At this stage, I am not able to just cautiously tap into my powers. So we're going to go ahead and go full-on shifter. We'll go into the hybrid form, and we'll have full access to my power shifts, which kind of need them at this point. I already tried to play fair against these cultists, and they rocked the shit out of me. So, time to go a little hybrid werewolf. I don't have art for this yet, but essentially, imagine as you see me now, your happy, fun friend, but I got a little bit of teeths. I got some claws, my legs and arms a little bit more rippling. I am in that in-between stage of the dire monster war form and the human standard form. Look like a wood? I'm going to hate looking this up. I know I am. No. No. I am going to just immediately say no. I hate that you say that. That is so not what I was describing. And you just said it to bother me, and I despise you for it. You piece of shit. With that, I want to say, given this operation, I don't think it's very likely that they have me in some kind of a cage or cell that's intensely powerful. This has got to be something that's pretty standard affair. Yup, nothing too powerful. This is not that strong. So I'm going to make this a level 3 task. And with my strength, I am going to make this level 2. And we're going to go ahead and try and very carefully pull these bars apart. Immediately burning a experience point for that. Hello, baby. There we go. In my hybrid form, I'm able to grab at the bars and bend them in such a way, making enough room for me to kind of suck it in and squeeze through. Am I in a very large area, or is it a little bit more cramped? So, am I in a large area? 50-50 shot there. Actually, the chaos factor. So, chaos factor is when more things go wrong, the higher the chaos setting goes. You always start at 5. 6 makes things more likely. 4 makes things less likely. And, you know, as things go on, you kind of see how things go. But since it's not in my favor, how is this a big area? No, it's not. So this is actually more like a very confined space. Possibly, follow-up question, this is possibly not where I'm meant to be. This is more of like a midway point. Yup, this was definitely sort of like a means of get them, bag them, grab them, throw them somewhere until we're ready to move them. So this gives me a chance. I would definitely feel... You know, this will actually be 50-50. Are there a lot of guards around us? No. Okay, so that raises an interesting question. If they jumped me with enough forces to be able to take me out pretty quick, even though I was able to retaliate even slightly, what really got me was their numbers, not so much their combined strength. Even still, they're underestimating me. They don't realize what I am or what I can do. That's also concerning, because if they don't know that I'm a beast shifter and they don't really know who I am, implied purely because they're being so inconsistent with how they're handling me, why am I here? Questions for later. Let's try to sneak away. I don't have any major ability for sneaking, so it's going to be pretty general. We already know that they're level 5, and I'm not able to spend any extra things on this, so... first things first, I'm actually going to use my analeptic, because I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I'm actually really curious. Like, I wonder what my analeptic was. Was it like... Restore the point equal to cipher level? So I had this magic item when starting the game. They don't know you can sing the Pokemon rap word for word. Funny, I can't do that anyway. You know, honestly, I just kind of like the idea that this was just like the equivalent of fantasy Gatorade. It's just, I had like a little shot of a cool drink in like one of my backpack pockets, which makes sense. I have a magical backpack. This actually makes sense. That I would be able to just sort of like grab what I need. With that, I've got what I need to make this a little bit easier. So 2 points off my speed. Here we go. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. I not only managed to get the fuck out of that building, I managed to do it like using my full beast mode. I jump up onto the rafters, I am climbing in between, and they cannot feckin' see me. Which actually makes me wonder if I should maybe hang out a little bit. Maybe see what it is that they're so enticed about me with. It could be a good move, but the problem is that I'm already pretty weakened, and their numbers still outdo me. Even if I went into my full dire form, I don't think it would be worthwhile. I'm still really just too weak to really make that work. Fuck. Alright, I think I know how I want to handle this. We're going to see if a GM intrusion is going to happen, and that will help dictate where this goes. It's got to fall under a 6. That will do it, so let's see. Let's get some inspiration. Sorry for the sirens in the background. That's totally not immersion breaking in the slightest. Okay, a 5 will be a altered scene, so not a full interruption. So we're gonna roll another d10. Okay, 2 things are going to happen. Okay, we've got a 2. And a 4. Increase in activity and add a character. Oh, okay, so we're going to continue our sneaking. We are going to go ahead and risk trying to listen in, because someone new gets added to this. It's time to roll on the NPC table. Oh, that's on page 2. Ergo, essentially page 1. Okay, roll another d8. And this character's name is Sharon Vortez. They're squat, unkempt, full of energy, deceptive and intimidating tasks at +1 level, running and climbing tasks at -1. Tattoo of scissors or a sword on their forearm. Alright, alright. Let me go ahead and make a separate folder for NPCs. Sharon Vortez. Considered level 1 for now. We'll leave that up in the open later as needed. Okay, Sharon. Sharon! Let's see what your deal is. What is Sharon's overall vibe? This is where we're going to have to bust out the big mythic book, because we have to work with something about what this character is. They're squat, so they're short and a little bit heftier. Let's get a little bit more on their appearance. They'll be 2d100s. $94, so they're trendy. 48. Jewelry. I'm immediately imagining someone who looks like the Penguin from Batman. I am just imagining this squat, short little, either literal or metaphorical goblin just decked out. If anybody ever grew up watching Johnny Test, do a fantasy gender-bent version of Bling Bling Boy. Use that as the base for this character concept. Alright, so they have money, and they definitely like to flaunt it. Giving off massive vibes of being a total tool. Let's see what level of tool that they are. Let's see here. Personality. That's going to be a 99, wild, and 50, humble. Wild and humble. A little interesting. So maybe while they are a bit chaotic, a little bit goofy almost, they seem to be very comfortable. Oh, what's wrong, baby? Am I not paying enough attention to you? Am I not giving you precious attention time? On the next break, I will give you proper attention time. Is that okay? I'm kind of getting off the vibe. No, Sylvie, go lay down. I'll play with you later. I'm getting the idea that, like, they're very happy with whatever arrangement they're in. So while they're, like, very brash, very, like, how's it going? What are you doing here? How'd the capture go? I hope they didn't give you too much trouble. Yeah, plot twist. The villain who is hired these cultists to attack me is not so secretly just my friend Paper. This is all a big prank that's gone wildly out of control. But they're clearly happy and don't want to rock the boat too much. So it makes sense to me that Sharon is going to immediately just want to come and like, let's see how the cargo is doing, huh? See if Sleeping Beauty's ever rustled from the... And at that point, everything just starts to break loose. Probably gives a very condescending aspect of, well, I know I can pay you to track them and bag them, but apparently you can't tag them. At this point, they have 100% gone into immediate running around. My next yes or no question: is she so irate right now that she's going to start talking? I think it's at least a little likely that she will. Oh, and the game agrees. Time to throw in a plot twist, because we're about to learn something big that we're not supposed to. I will also say this will definitely account for a GM intrusion. Whatever the fuck's about to happen. 49, lie. 20, disaster. Okay. They're immediately going to resort to lying about whether or not I was captured. Is it because the person that they caught for is on their way? I think it's at least a little likely, and the game agrees. Now, I think we can go back to what Paper was asking. Is it the dragon? Oh, it most certainly is. I imagine this person is, like, in a more humanoid form. Almost like they have, like, what looks like leprosy of some kind. A lot of, like, their body looks very scratched and rashy. They look like they've got their hands and mouth covered with a mask and gloves. They look like something that, like, is diseased. But in truth, what it actually is that they are a chimera dragon. Meaning they have multiple different skin tones that do not match. Parts of their body probably are barely matching enough to walk in a straight line. You know what? That raises a great question. I think this is more of a 50-50 one, even with the chaos factor. Is this guy put together enough to be able to pass off as a normal person? The game says yes. So their proportions are all correct. But unless they cover themselves up, people would definitely start asking questions like, why is your pinky, your ring finger, and your middle finger all different colors? And also an orc finger, a goblin finger, and a human finger. Oh, this is getting interesting. Okay. So he's coming up. They're going to pretend that I died. Do I stick around? Oh, do I stick... I want to so bad. I want to so badly. But it would be so goddamn dangerous. And if this thing is a dragon, if what they're saying is accurate and is not just, you know, hyperbole, that could put me in a lot of danger. So at this point, I'm going to book it. I'm going to go ahead and try to leave. And with the situation that I'm in, I don't think that's going to be too hard. I'm going to say that this is a level 4 task to see how quickly I can get the hell out of there. And I'm actually going to go ahead and even use my ability for Fleet of Foot. Can move a long distance as your entire action for a turn. If you apply a level of effort to this ability, you can move a long distance and make an attack as your entire action. So I think with the remainder of my stealth operation, I get out of that building and I just start booking it. Moving easily hundreds of feet within seconds as I'm just very much all for running through the city, trying to get out of there. And it's time one more time to see how that's going to turn out. I make it. I managed to get out. No one is following me. No one heard me. And whatever consequences happen to that woman and their crew, not currently my concern. The next question is whether or not I should be going to someone for this, and I think it would be really bad if I don't. So, immediately gonna be going to the guard, and definitely one of the precincts that my family works in. Trust me, my aunts, my one aunt and uncle are basically my mom and dad. They would be hurt and livid if I didn't immediately come to them for something like this. But I survive. I get out of there. And I'm able to get a proper 10 hours. I think after that experience, I would even go as far to say that I would take an extra day or two to just relax. At that end, I'm pretty sure I would be getting a lot of answers about, or really giving a lot of answers to the guard about what happened. There is one thing I want to try, though. It's a little post, but we're not worried about that. Was I able to catch a scent of something I didn't recognize? I actually don't think it's likely, so this will turn it into a 50-50. Oh ho ho! Okay, let's go ahead and see. I'm gonna make this a level 6 task. I'm going to burn 1 level of effort to make this a level 5. And then I am going to try and see if I can track this down. Oh, let's go, baby! I gotta remember to turn these animations off next time. Especially if they're gonna break. That straight up just broke, and that's very funny to me. Let me go ahead and fix that really quick. We'll just have that for now, and we'll go ahead and quickly reload the page. With any luck, that fixed it. Yes, it did. Okay, so not only was I able to catch the scent of that Chimera Dragon, it is unmistakable. It is a scent that I could never forget. Let's find out what that scent would be. $97, weak. 52, frightened. Well, that's interesting. The closest thing that I can compare the scent of the Chimera Dragon to is something weak and frightened. Is the Chimera Dragon a child? I want to say it's partially unlikely given the fact that it seemed like Sharon was so immensely afraid of the situation. So much to the point where they wanted to hide the truth that I had gotten out, with instead that I had been killed. Not a child. That leaves a lot for me to consider. I would think the coming days would go by, and I would try to get some rest and stay out of sight. I would definitely think that because I was able to identify the smell, I was able to identify that the Chimera Dragon was real, I would be rewarded with a little bit of something. Not a lot, mind you, but something. Let's get money. Go. I think it would make sense that I would have gotten about, if gold to dollars, I think 100 gold for my troubles would definitely have been the best move there. The way that I usually run gold in games like this is that gold is kind of the equivalent of the dollar. Well, no, silver would be the equivalent of the dollar. So, 100 silver would realistically come out to 10 gold. So now I've got plenty of money to get resources and even patch myself up. Giving the harrowing event, would the guard reward me with a magical item of some kind as protection? It's possible. I would say it's more in the 50-50 realm, and they do not. The chaos factor, I think, would remain at a 6 at this point. Because, well, we haven't made much progress. We know a little, and I even know the scent, but doesn't mean that I'm not still, rushed. Oh yeah, the silver dollar. You were absolutely right. I don't know why I didn't consider that. Okay. So, with that said then, I'm going to go ahead and burn 3 of my experience, and I'm going to get myself an artifact. So, under, essentially... Let's see here. There we go. Rollable tables. Core rules. We got fantastic ciphers, manifest ciphers, subtle ciphers, fantasy cipher forms, fantasy ciphers, major and minor. All of that, I think I'm going to go ahead and get myself a minor artifact. We'll choose from 3 options. The Alchemist Bag can contain up to 1 cipher per artifact level as long as there is no larger... That's actually very useful. Crown of the Mind, Alchemist Bag. Oh, I got it twice, so I can actually re-roll one. Small. Upon that, the amulet creates a faint glow around the wearer, provides 2 armor. Honestly, given what just happened, it makes perfect sense for me to get an anti-get jumped situation. Okay, it's level 5, so that means that it would only give me +2 to armor. Well, against heat and cold, should have read that whole thing. That's not going to be useful in the slightest. I will go ahead and take the Alchemist Bag. Contain up to 1 cipher per artifact level. Honestly, this makes a lot of sense. I do have my magical backpack now. It's right proper. With that said, I don't have any more points to spend on ciphers or nothing, so I think it's just best to go to the next day. so next, so we'll only be playing for a little bit longer, but this has been very fun, and I actually am really glad I have an audience for this. So we're dealing with... Would the Varisian Guard ask me to help track them down? They most definitely would, and it would be in their right. And while I'm definitely still a little shaken from the events, a couple days have passed, I've gotten more of my right of mind, and it makes perfect sense that I am going to have the ability to get to it. This is life in Virus. I am a mercenary, I am an adventurer. I need to go when the guard ask. So we begin our search again, but this time I will have a proper asset to trying to make this happen. So I would say difficulty 6 because they are running around. It's not going to be a total easy breeze. I'll have the perception to that, and I will go ahead and burn 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go ahead and see if I can make this happen. Oh, let's go! Not a full-on critical, but I am 100% able to track this down. Do I end up in the same area as before? I think that's more of a 50-50. No. Alright, so let's find the dice that tell us where we've ended up. Got a location descriptor table around here. There we go. $95. Unusual. 3. Artistic. Oh, okay. So we end up in... Is this, like, a place that most people would be aware of? Yes. Is this a public place? No. Okay, so it's not like a museum or like a place you can go to. It's essentially someone's very intricate manor. That's going to cause problems. I'm going to go ahead and give myself 2 points for a GM intrusion on that because that does not fit the narrative we are playing by. Okay. Is the place we're at, this manor, owned by someone exceedingly important? Crap baskets. I don't think the important person is the Chimera Dragon, though, but it could be. Only one way to find out. Crap baskets. The guard are definitely going to be questioning me on this. Is this person known positively? Oh, okay, no. So this is definitely someone of influence and power that doesn't have the greatest reputation. Okay, that sings a little bit more in my favor. The idea that this person, the guard won't immediately reject what I'm saying. They won't immediately reject my claims. But this probably is still going to complicate things, right? Like, what would this possibly mean? What's the implications here? I think the big question is the individual known negatively through public actions? Anything that we would just automatically be able to tell? Yes, okay, so they're a bit of a pariah. Are they a criminal? Oh, I think another GM intrusion has just appeared. I'm getting the idea that the Chimera Dragon isn't known to be what it is, and they're a part of some aspect of the city that is very illegal. They have been brought in multiple times into the court to be discussed, and I'm gonna say the fact that they're in a big manor and that we are about to knock down their door, they keep managing to squirrel away. Time to do an expected scene roll. Okay. So the scene continues as is. But here's the problem that I think comes in. If this person, if this dragon in their more humanoid-ish form, if they have been acquitted several times for the crimes that they have been accused of, something tells me that kidnapping and assault are something that's already happened. Yep, that's what I thought. I think the guard's hands are tied, which is going to be another GM intrusion. I don't think the guards are going to be able to do anything. This would just be another arrest, a harassment campaign on this individual. Sure, they're not well-liked or well-beloved by the city or by their contemporaries, but clearly some aspect of the law, some aspect of the court, is allowing them to get away. And it's easy to consider, like, with real-life implications, but the thing that's interesting is that Virus... This is a multiple red flag situation. Magic exists in this world. Very invasive magics. Depending on the crime and the severity of it, while torture would be out of the question, powerful mages, clerics, etc. would be used to cast a truth spell. One that would be quite intensive. On the other hand, I also don't have... I bring up the truth spell situation because it would make sense that some aspect of magic or some kind of precautions would be made to make sure that whatever judge or jury or anything along those lines would be fairly uncorrupt. So there's something else that's making it hard to pin this person down for what they're doing. At this point, I think the guard are going to leave. I think I'm going to be stuck. I actually think this is a great place to stop. Especially since the ad break's going to hit again. I'm a little willing to go a little further if you guys want. I'm very fascinated, but this feels like a pretty solid set of events that have come up. Got attacked, barely survived, escaped, and managed to figure out that the Chimera Dragon is very dangerous. I think next time I get a chance to do this, we'll see what we can do about involving this. Because as it stands, I'm on my own. If I want to keep investigating this, I've got connections, I've got family, I have friends, but I might have stumbled onto something I never should have. And I'm not going to lie. I came into this fully expecting this to be a little bit more adventurous, a little bit more proud, and like the stories. I mean, for crying out loud, I can turn into a freaking werewolf, but I almost died. They did a number on me. The next time we come back, maybe I gotta let this one go. And that is, if they will. Gotta say, not where I expected my first adventure to go. Wasn't expecting to get bullied the shit out of by a bunch of cultists. Was not expecting a dragon to have it out for me, and then also be the equivalent of just a rich person. Just a controversial rich person. Next time we meet with this, we're gonna have to see what kind of details we can dig up, because Basil Strikes is gonna have to go into investigative mode. Hopefully being able to pull something up. Possibly like some public records, maybe some of the court documents, but that will be for next time. Thank you all for joining me on this first dip into running a tabletop RPG to build up my lore. I hope you've enjoyed the first dip into the first adventure, and Christ, pray for gods above, pray for me. I am way in over my head on this first adventure.